female physiology and understanding the menstrual cycle. So this is going to be a slide just helping you manage your way through the 28-day menstrual cycle. So the overview basically of this whole slide is to understand the body a little bit better, knowing when we can push, knowing when we have to pull back basically. So every single female is unique in many ways. So that can be age, weight, what hereditary you have in your family, what contraception you're on. So basically everything I'm about to go over is based on a generic standard 28-day cycle and can be totally different for all women. So a part of us working together, I'll try to advise you on the best I can, and we'll be able to look at how your body responds. So at certain stages throughout the cycle, we'll figure out what works well and then what doesn't work well. And then we repeat that as we go on and however long we work together for. So if we don't understand any of this, it can hinder your rate of progress and hinder your health. So it's pretty important to take these things into consideration. But like I said, it is not one size fits all kind of situation at all. So the hormones, they play a big key factor in how you feel, motivation, your training, etc. So there are plenty of hormones in the female body, and these will affect your training, motivation, how you feel, what you eat, and stages of cravings. So in the 28 days, there's a certain area where the cravings will go up. And then obviously there's some parts where your cravings come down. So my job is to help you get through this. So the main ones that we're going to look at is progesterone, I think that's how you pronounce it, and estrogen. So these two hormones will have an impact on training intensity, recovery, hormonal levels, and calorie intake. So everybody's got this, and we don't all have, good weeks, on and on and on. You're going to have some days where you feel low. You're going to have some days where you feel amazing. It's just battling that and really just having a stronger mindset and understanding your body that little bit more. So you have to deal with a lot of hormonal imbalance, and you'll see on this slide. So this is where you are on your period and you are bleeding. So you're releasing that stress basically. You can see that this is estrogen and estradiol, I think that's how you say it, rises up, comes down, rises up once more, and then back down again. Progesterone is fairly level, and then it shoots up. So you can see these hormones that cross over. You're having to deal with this, and there is the early follicular stage, late follicular, the ovulation. That's where it's the release of the eggs, and then mid luteal and late luteal. So there are 4 phases to the cycle, and this is for you to understand when we can push and when to generally pull back in certain areas. So the next slide will go into that. When you see the crossovers on the hormones, you have to understand it will affect recovery and performance. Like I said, the hormones that are crossing over, your body's going through a lot, cravings may be up, and then everything else, your feelings and everything else, it's going to be all over the place. So yeah, we manage that as best as we can. So training, and the graph is still here. So we'll go over this, the kind of phases that you're going to encounter and how I would just manage them as much as possible. So first week, follicular phase, which is here. This is when you're on your period and you've released blood. So this is when you de-stress generally. You'll have low appetite, and this is where we can push the deficit that little bit harder, initiate a harder training volume too. So you're generally stronger in this phase, and the natural feeling to have lower appetite. So as we're working in sync with your body, because you've released blood, you've released stress, you are more in sync. So this is where we want to push the volume training, but we also want to push the calorie deficit. So, this is based on personal experience, not from myself, sorry, but this is based on your experience. So if you feel like you can, let's push. But same again, just tell me and we can work around that. No problem whatsoever. So you might not want to at this stage, but this is where we can really go for it. So yeah, this little stage here. So the second week of the follicular phase, which is here, and you can see that your estrogen hormones are rising, but the progesterone is still fairly low in the second week of the follicular phase. So after your period, we can really go into hypertrophy focused training, which is, a much higher output than where we were for the first week of the follicular phase. And this is where we can reach bigger limits. So lifting heavier weights, achieving PBs, even going for more reps and better finishes, really. So the first week of the luteal phase, which is here, and just before that is your ovulation. So that's where it's the release of eggs, and you can see that your hormones cross over here. On the graph it's mid-luteal, but it's the first week of the luteal phase. This right here is where we can get the maximum output and biggest PBs, really going for it, because this is generally where you are going to be strongest. So it's at the back end of the stages. But here, the late luteal, which is, the second week of the luteal phase, is at the back end of the 28-day cycle. That's when we pull back a little bit. As you can see that your hormones are coming down. This is just before you are coming on your period. So we know that your body is preparing for its own little war, basically, / the period. And we don't want to cause more stress than what it's going under. So we won't push the deficit. We won't risk recovery being hindered, and we won't push hard in the gym. But same again, if you feel like you can, then that's the route that we'll take. But generally, we want to pull back here because there's already stress that's been applied on the body. So 1 week before your period, this is where you will want to eat more, the cravings will creep in, and this is during the stage when progesterone is released in your body from your ovaries. So your body temperature is increased, which will naturally burn 100 to 300 more calories through expenditure, which is just what your body does, and that's causing the body to counteract. So this is with the hunger hormones. This is where the snacking wants to come in. This is where you want to eat that little bit more. Same again, it's on personal preferences and experience. So you may do or you may not have the cravings at this point. So we can battle this and pump up the fruit. We can get more protein to keep you satiated, and potentially, but not always the case, we may increase calories to around about maintenance, which could be a diet break. So this is all so we're getting the best out of you basically in this phase. We want to, rest, recover as much as possible, maybe go to maintenance calories here to then really get bigger output, and then the best kind of output that you can do totally. So yeah, we may add in a few treats or there, but yeah, we'll speak about that anyway. So, overview. Every single female is different. So how you respond to your menstrual cycle compared to another woman. So you are unique, and it may be slightly different for you. So I did repeat over in the slides that everybody's different. So no certain way is going to work for you. It's just how you feel and how you feel that you can perform in the gym and, continue to get the success that you're getting. So we know we can push more right at the start of your period, so phase 1, 2, and 3, but we pull back a week before your period is due. So another one, we need to track and work together collaboratively, so we have a rough idea of what stage you're at. So same again, it's talking to each other, making me aware, look, the scale might not be right because I'm going through this stage and whatnot. So it's helping you become more in tune with your body as well. So like I said, one size won't fit all. Mindset, physical health, work commitments, stress levels are all different. So we play it by ear. We need to know what's realistic for you. we take notes of the 28-day model graph, but it's ultimately how you feel and what you can do, basically. And overall, we want to focus on consistency over a long period of time on your nutrition, training, and we work around the hormonal phases. So hopefully this small slide shows just giving you an idea of where you can push, where you can pull back, why your cravings have gone up, but especially why are cravings present, because we are burning generally more calories because your temperature's rising in your body. So yeah, hope this helps you out and we can get better and better results because we're more in tune with our body.